Hello students, let's begin with break-even point. Okay, I hope you all are clear with operating costing. Okay, sorry, operating leverages, right? So let's move on to break-even point. What it is break-even point? It refers to the amount of revenue necessary to cover the total fixed and variable expenses incurred by the company within a specified time period. So what it refers, it is the extra revenue. It is the amount of revenue which is necessary to cover the total fixed as well as variable expenses which was incurred in a particular period. So break even point nothing but it is the time, it is the amount, okay, amount of revenue which is necessary to overcome from the fixed and variable expenses incurred in a particular year, okay, or in a particular period. So to certain extent you can concentrate, like when production and sales exceeds break even point, the company enters highly profitable range of activities. So break even point indicates that break even point means it is the highest peak level, okay. If company crosses the units which is going to sell after the break even point, it indicates that company is earning highest profit in the industries, okay. So, firm operating with a high degree of leverages and above break-even point earn sufficient profit. So, as we have learned here previously, degree of leverages, right? Higher the degree of leverage shows higher the risk. Like that only here, above break-even point if the companies have a sales or a units, okay? Sales will be indicated in rupees and the units will be indicated in units itself. So, if the company overcome from the break even point, whether it is in units or it is in sales, okay, that will be, it means that the company is earning sufficient profit, means more than the profit turnover what they have planned to earn, okay. So let's see how we have to calculate it. Formula to calculate break even point. Firstly, break even point equal to fixed cost divided by present value ratio. How are we going to calculate it? Fixed cost divided by present value ratio. Then how to calculate present value ratio here? How to calculate PV ratio, normally we call it as. So what is PV ratio? How to calculate it? Contributions divided by sales. Okay, then break even point, fixed cost divided by percentage of contribution to sales. These are the two formulas we have. First one also we can use, or last one. Okay, in between what we have, it is PV ratio. How to calculate PV ratio? That it is contribution divided by sales we have. Let's see the problems on this. So calculate BEP in sales, break even point. Okay, normally they will mention it BEP itself. So you should understand it, break even point. Okay, these are 2 marks problems. Okay, break even point in sales from the following information. Okay, from the following they have given PV ratio, it is 1 by 2 you have, and fixed cost it is 80,000. How to calculate then BEP in sales? Okay, calculation of break even point in sales. Which formula we have? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio, means present value ratio here. Why I have taken this formula? Because both the information we have here, fixed cost and PV ratio. Okay, so fixed cost how much we have? 80,000, and PV ratio you have 1 divided by 2. Okay, so how much you will get? It is 1,60,000. Break even point in sales. Okay, you will get rupees 1,60,000. 80,000 divided by 1 by 2. Okay, if you solve this, means how to solve it? 80,000 into 2 divided by 1 you will get. Okay, 80,000 into 2 divided by 1. 1 by 2 you are having. If you take it from the other side, you will get it as, if you multiply it, denominator will be the numerator and numerator will be the denominator here. Okay, so 80,000 divided by 1 by 2, you will get it as 1,60,000. Means in book you can write it down like 80,000 into 2 divided by 1. So it is 1,60,000 you will get. Okay, the next problem, calculate break even point in units from the following information. So sales you have 50,000 units here, rupees 300 per unit, variable cost 200 per unit, and fixed cost you have 25 lakh. Okay, so how to calculate now? Solution we will see. Contribution per unit you should calculate first. So sales per unit minus variable cost per unit. Sales per unit how much we have? 300 minus variable cost per unit you have 200. So contribution per unit how much we will get? It is 100 rupees. Okay, So break-even point in units, fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. Okay, so fixed cost, how much we have? 25 lakh divided with contribution per unit. Okay, 25 lakh divided by 100, how much we will get? It is BP in units, break-even point in units, it is 25,000 units we will get. So we will see how to calculate break-even point in sales now. Okay, so PV ratio we want for this. PV ratio, how much we have? Contribution divided by sales. Okay, so PV ratio equal to contribution we have 100 rupees and sales we have 300 per unit. So PV ratio, how much we will get? 1 divided by 3. Cancel 0 zeros. Okay, so 1 divided by 3 you will get. That we will apply in this formula here. Break-even point in sales equal to fixed cost divided by PV ratio. So fixed cost we have 25 lakh and PV ratio you have 1 divided by 3. So 25 lakh into 3 divided by 1 you will get it as. So answer will be break-even point in sales 75 lakh you will get. 25 lakh into 3 divided by 1. So you will get it as 75 lakh rupees, 75 lakh. Okay, whenever break-even point you mention it in units, you should mention answer in the units. And whenever you mention break-even point in sales, you should mention it as a rupees here. Okay. So next problem, third one, calculate break-even point in units from the following information. Sales we have rupees 90 per unit, variable cost 60 per unit and fixed cost they are given 3 lakh. Okay, so solution we will see how to calculate it. Contribution per unit we should calculate first. So sales per unit, how much we have? 90 here and variable cost 60. Okay, so 90 minus 60. Contribution per unit, how much we will get? 30 rupees here. Okay, so break-even point in units, fixed cost divided by contribution per unit you should consider. So fixed cost, how much we have? 3 lakh divided by contribution per unit we have calculated it as 30 rupees. Okay, so break-even point in units, how many units you will get? 10,000 units here. Okay, so how to calculate in break-even point in sales now? First you have to calculate PV ratio. PV ratio equal to contribution divided by sales. So PV ratio equal to 30 we have contribution, right? 30 per unit divided by sales. Sales, how much you have? 90 per unit. So 1 divided by 3 will get. Cancel 0 zeros. 3 ones are 3 9. 3 3s are 9, right? So 1 by 3 you will get. Then break even point in sales. Fixed cost divided by PV ratio, right? So fixed cost we have 3 lakh rupees divided by PV ratio we have 1 divided by 3. So how to get it? 3 lakh into 3 divided by 1 you will get. Okay, 1 you have to do. Then you will get break even point in sales equal to rupees 9 lakh. Okay, I hope you are clear with this. Still, if you have any doubt, you can get it clarified. These sums I want you to solve the homework. Find out break even point in units from the following. Sales we have 10,000 units at rupees 150 per unit. So 10,000 into 150 you have to calculate. Sales you will get sales value. Okay, so sales value per unit you should take 150. Variable cost you have 60 per unit. So contribution will get 150 minus 60 here. Okay, then fixed cost you have 72,000. Okay, same like BP, calculate both break even point in sales also, break even point in units also. Okay, both you have to calculate. So PV ratio also you have to calculate here. Then fifth problem also same like. Okay, I want you to calculate both. Find out break even point in units from the following. Sales we have 7,000 units at rupees 10 per unit and variable cost rupees 5 per unit. Okay, then fixed cost you have 20,000. Same like previous sums you have second and third problem. Okay, similarly you have, so solve it, then let me know the answer of it. Okay, then next we have financial leverage here. Okay, second leverage, it is financial leverage. It relates to the capital structure of the company. Operating leverage, for what it was related, changes in the sales makes the changes in the what how much percentage of changes in the profit, right? Make differences between the sales and profit. That was the operating ratio. Now financial leverage means what it is? It related to the capital structure of the company. Capital structure will be having normally three types, right? Either the company may have equity share and preference share, or company may have preference, equity share and debentures, or company may have all three combination, right? Equity shares, debentures as well as preference share capital, like that. Okay, financial leverage completely depends upon the capital structure of the company here. Okay, and capital structure means what it is. It is the company represents the composition of total capital collected through different sources. Okay, so different sources, as I said, it is debentures, bonds, preference shares, equity shares, reserves, as well as surplus. Now what is financial leverage then? Financial leverage refers to use of fixed charges securities in the capitalization of the company to produce more gains for the equity shareholders. So mainly these people, they are in this, we are going to concentrate more on gain or wealth maximization of the equity shareholders here. Okay, so financial leverage mainly depends upon what? It depends upon the capital structure of the firm. Okay, so how to calculate financial leverage then? Financial leverage or degree of financial leverage is calculated with the following formula here. Financial leverage equal to earning before interest and tax, means what the company have earned before paying the interest as well as tax. Okay, now in short we call it as EBIT. Then that you're going to divide it with profit before tax, means after paying the interest, before paying the tax. Okay, profit before tax, we call it as PBT here in short. Okay, then advantages of financial leverage. It guides the financial manager in planning capital structure. What it will do? It will help the financial manager in planning the capital structure of the firm. How much equity shares they can apply or they can issue, how many preference shares they can issue, or how much debentures, or they can have combination of all three, or is it required only equity or debentures. Okay, like that it will helps the manager to take the financial decision here or capital structuring decisions. Okay, it is helpful to know the earning per share. Okay, here you can calculate earning per share of the equity shareholders. Okay, how much they can earn it back. It measures the financial risk. Okay, it measures the financial risk of the business, as it helps us to calculate the earning per share here. Okay, then it is important for profit planning. Okay, this financial leverage will helps us to uh, plan for profit margins or plan to increase our profits. Okay, important plannings you can make or strategies you can make to earn maximum profit here. Okay, the next disadvantages of financial leverage. The high financial leverage is not good. Okay, as I said, high operating leverage will shows us high risk of the business. Like that only, high financial leverage is not good for the business. Okay, then restrictions from the financial institutions, because financial which shows the relationship between both. Okay, which shows us the capital structure of the company. It financial institutions may restrict our our business, like how much debentures we can issue. If we issued already the debentures, when you are going to redeem it, everything will be pre-planned prior only. Then it fails to take a cognizance of implicit cost of debt. Okay, organize it as, it fails to take a cognizance, okay, of an implicit cost of debt. What it is, it fails to cognizance means the implicit cost, how we are going to divide the cost, how we have normally in cost sheet you are going to study in next semester it is. Okay, implicit cost means how we are going to divide the cost among the debt, how we are going to repay it, that it is. Just make a spelling mistakes there, CA it is. Okay, cognizance. Okay, then next we have difference between both operating leverage and financial leverage. Operating leverage is associated with the investment activities of the company. So operating leverage, what it will help us, it helps us to take a means which is mainly concentrated on investment activities of the company, where you can earn high profit. That, but financial leverage is associated with the financing activities of the company, nothing but issuing of shares, issuing of debentures, or issuing of preference shares here. Okay, Then operating leverage consists of fixed operating expenses of the company. So normally while calculating operating profit, what we will do, fixed charges we will consider mainly. But in financial leverage consists of operating profit of the company. In financial leverage, what we will do, we will consider only operating profit of the company here, EBIT we call it as. Okay, it represents the ability to use fixed operating cost. It represents the company's ability to use fixed operating cost whatever the company is having right now. Okay, and it represents the relationship between EBIT and earning per share, means earning before interest and tax and earning per share, which shows the relationship between both this financial leverage. Then operating leverage can be calculated by, right, operating leverage equal to contribution divided by operating profit. And financial leverage, how we are going to calculate, operating profit divided by PBT. Operating profit nothing but EBIT. Okay, earning before interest and tax. OP they have written, operating profit it is. Okay, then a percentage change in the profit resulting from the percentage change in the sales, we call it as operating leverage. As I said, what it is, operating leverage, meaning they have given difference. Okay, operating leverage changes in percentage of changes in the sales, results percentage of changes in the profit. But what about finance? A percentage of changes in taxable profit is result in percentage changes in the EBIT. Okay, because after paying tax only it is. So how much percentage of tax you're going to change, it will result in percentage of changes in the EBIT also, nothing but operating profit or earning before tax, interest and tax here. Okay, then trading on equity is not possible while the company is operating leverage. Trading activity on the equity, it is not possible when the company is mainly concentrating on operating activities. But here trading on equity is possible only when the company uses financial leverage. If the company operating leverages, then you cannot sell any equity. Okay, any equity shares. If you are using financial leverage, definitely you can sell off your equity shares there. Okay, then operating leverage depends upon fixed cost and variable cost. Okay, because mainly we are concentrating that only here, all the costs, right? So financial leverage depends upon the operating profit here. Okay, the next you have last one, tax rate and interest rate will not affect the operating leverage. While calculating operating leverage, you won't concentrate on tax rate, either tax rate or interest rate. But here in financial leverage, changes in the tax rate as well as changes in interest rate will affect the financial leverage. If any changes in the interest rate or tax rate, it will not affect our operating leverage. But for financial leverage, both will affect. Okay, these are some differences we have. Maximum they'll ask for 5 marks. 5 differences you can remember, I suppose. Okay, so next problems, we'll see the problems on financial leverage. Okay, if you have any doubt in this, get it clarified. Okay, meet you in the next class. Till then, take care.